Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another Sunday football show with Dr. Kenya Oscar Radoli, and David
Hey,
Chali.
Charlie.
Dave, let's just jump right into it, man. Last week's games, Sunday, the main features that we talked about was Miami Dolphins versus the San Diego Chargers and New York Buffalo Bills versus Arizona Cardinals. Let's start with the Buffalo Bills and Arizona Cardinals, then we'll talk about Miami and San Diego. Go for it, Dave.
All I got to say is, Doc, this league is in good hands, man. We're going to be watching the NFL and be entertained for a long time because these young quarterbacks, they put on shows, man. Josh Allen to Stephon Diggs to go up, to go up by 6. Actually, go up by 5. Josh Allen's best throw, yeah, I think he's made in his whole entire career. And I was like, Arizona's done. Arizona's done. Hmm. Murray to Hopkins. Those Jordan gloves are getting so much love on the internet. I tell you, so much love on the internet, making Nike look bad, making Adidas look bad against three of the best corners in football.
Yeah.
Hopkins goes up and says, MJ, see me now.
So that was the Hail Mary that
That
actually
was the Hail Mary.
game at the end. Basically, it was the last play. If they missed it,
Game was over. It decided, and everybody is going, huh, what the hell just happened? And you got to look at Murray. Murray throws the ball, gets hit out of bounds, turns around. Actually, he's facing the opposite way, and all he's looking at is the jumbotron. And then when it happens, he just does this. He's not even looking downfield. I tell you, epic, epic. It was football at its best.
so that game lived up to its bill.
Yeah.
Fantastic finish. One of the finishes I've never seen in my lifetime. Most of the finishes I've watched have been recordings. But let's move on to the Miami Dolphins versus San Diego Chargers. How was that game?
Oh, Tua. Game manager, man. Remember we talked about it? I said all he has to do is manage the game, and Tua managed the game because that defense that he has. Oh, Justin Herbert got a rude awakening. Understanding that he's playing against a really, really good defense, and give him credit. He did well, but the defense was just so good. Right? They gave him so many different looks that he really, the defense threw the Chargers out of rhythm because the looks were so, different, and that's the difference in the game because they're both great quarterbacks, but Tua has an unbelievable defense, and so all he has to do is manage the game, no turnovers. They won the game.
Yeah, and the final score from that game was 29-21 to the Miami Dolphins. And the previous game was the Cardinals 32 versus New York Buffalo Bills 30.
Yeah.
Close games, tight games, great games. We're going to move on to our next section where we like talking about, sometimes when we talk about the football culture, we want people to understand that there's some rituals and preparations that take place.
Football Sunday.
Football Sunday, Dave. And I want to share with our audience that not many know, Dave, that you're a chef, man, and we look forward to how you cook up a storm for Sundays. But tell us about game prep. How do you prep for Sunday football?
Well, it goes into something like this. First of all, by the time the Thursday night game comes on, I start thinking about my Sunday menu already. I'm like, all right, what am I gonna do? Who's the feature? You know what I mean? I like my menu to replicate the team that's going to be featured. Most of the time, it's the Eagles. Don't get me wrong. So Like if the Eagles are going on, I've perfected some chicken cheesesteaks here. Man, as you know, you know, the only thing that's missing is the Amoroso bread from Philadelphia.
Philly.
That's the only thing that's missing because I can't get that here.
Listen, world, if you've never had a Philly cheesesteak, make sure
Woo!
you go to Philadelphia, get some of those real Philly cheesesteaks. Dave, what are some of the best cheesesteak shops to go to in Philly?
Yo, man, you got Jim's on South Street and you got Tony Luke's, man. And again, don't do Tony Luke's at the airport. Don't do Tony Luke's at the mall. No, don't do the chains. You need to go to Washington Avenue in South Philly. That's where you go for Tony Luke's. Cause that is literally, you ever see Seinfeld?
Yeah, yeah.
Remember the soup Nazi?
Yeah.
That's the kind of service you get at Tony Luke's. You can't order something funny, saying you want to do this, you want to do that. They look at you funny.
Like, where you from, man?
Where you from, man? Who are you?
Hey,
Look at the menu, get your order right. Make sure you got your order right. And when the time you step up your ordering, there's no stammering. There's no yeah. And then what do you think about this now, man? I want Philly cheesesteak. I want onions, mushrooms, and I want either cheese whiz or provolone. There's no American. There's no cheddar. There's no what. Cheese whiz or provolone.
Yeah.
You ain't messing around.
I remember my first cheesesteak. Good friend of mine, good brother, Adrian Buchanan.
Yes, Big A.
Let me show you Philly Half-Life. And I remember that until today. That memory was like, what? Rocked my Timberlands, rocked in. And he was like, yo, everybody was just precise. There's no stammering. You gotta know what you want. This is Philly, baby.
You got to, man. It's precise, man. It's not an error perhaps. It's yo. I want it. This is what I want. I want 6-inch. I want 12-inch.
Right.
You figure it out.
I keep wondering, why would you order a 6-inch? Just order the whole. Just order the whole thing.
Put it this way.
Eat half later, but
the people who order 6 inches are, for one, women, because they want to eat the cheesesteak, but they really don't want to show that they want to eat it to that extent. You know what I mean?
I see. But all I'm saying is, order the full thing, eat half, right, and save the half for probably later.
Yes, but the other half, don't you ever warm it up in the microwave. I'm gonna hurt you, man.
No.
You got to put that in foil. You got to put that in the oven. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You got. Come on.
Just saying. Don't microwave that.
This is man. You got it.
That's how it is. Prep day for me is usually, now we're locked down, we're doing little things and everything, so we can't really go to church, so my church is on virtual, so I tune in to my virtual service. I'm either doing the 8 a.m. service or I'm doing the 10 a.m. service, depending on what kind of night I had, right? And then from there, it's prep time, man. It's start cooking, and getting ready, and as you know, I send you guys up to date, from the prep. Say this is what I'm going to cook. This is how we're going to do it, and it becomes a montage throughout the whole entire day until we actually serve the food. And this week, we've got salmon on play because my daughter asked for salmon, so I got salmon. Sometimes I got to make my 20-year-old happy.
Good. So what do you use to wash it down? What are some of the drinks that you have lined up for football Sundays?
Back in the day, also when we were together in those days, we were, Yingling guys. Do you remember that? Yingling.
Of course. America's oldest brewery.
Yes.
Yingling.
That's what we used to wash it down. We were very happy, very proud to be supporting a Philadelphia beer.
Yeah, Pennsylvania. It's a Pennsylvania brewery.
Pennsylvania beer.
The oldest brewery that's in the U.S. Mm-hmm.
But the palate has moved, has evolved, and now, and Lowenbrow, Tuborg, those are my beers, you know. But most of all, it's a bunch of wine, man. Pinots, Shiraz, a bunch of Chileans. Love the Chilean wines, and everything. And every now and again, you know, when my team does really well, we might break out the Scotch, the single malt, the Arboloa, 12 years old. Love that. It's Macallan's, 14. Love
Celebrate.
that. Because we are celebrating victory. That's all. But if we don't win, we keep the Scotch hidden.
See,
But love the wine.
And I thought it would be nice for us to share, some of the things that take place. And by the way, most homes have their own rituals that they do, but this is what we loved doing. We still do, despite even being locked down. You just do it with those in your house, and hey, it's all good, Dave. It's all good. We're going to show some of these cooking skills of yours. We're going to share that with the crew sooner than later. We'll put that together. As a matter of fact, you know what, Dave? We'll put a montage of that and put it together, and we'll share it.
We'll share it. Put a little montage, say, week 1, week 2, week 3, week 4, just some clips, here and there, because we do have some highlights, right? And it's wonderful because what I love about it is that our little WhatsApp group, right? And I must say it's I say little, in pun because I think there's over like 100 of us on this WhatsApp group that does football on Sundays, right? But everybody looks forward to it, man. They look forward to the food, the music that gets shared by you and, Ogzi, consistently, because it always plays in the background as I am doing the videos of the food and stuff. It's always you starting from scratch, Ogzi, and another fella that a lot of us we don't that we haven't really been in touch with and we're trying to keep him positive. DJ Nyandat, man. DJ, big ups to DJ Nyandat, man.
By the way, speaking of that group, I was very excited to see Tony G's farm in Kenya, man. Tony G used to be up in Boston or up in Massachusetts and is now in Kenya as a farmer, right?
Yeah, man, he's a farmer, but not only just a farmer, man. He's an animal rearer, so he is in the animal products. He's got rabbits, he's doing ducks, he's doing chicken, he's doing pig. So like as we're speaking right now, they were sitting over at Tom Nyaro's house. He brought over a pig, and they're doing it well, man. Doing it well. You and I, we're going to hit the road, man. We're going to hit the road. We're going to be there.
I tell you, man, I love what those brothers are doing. Sooner than later, we're going to catch up and we're going to do more things together, right?
Yep, absolutely.
Fantastic. Let's move on now, again, into a next section where we're talking about our 2 games of choice for this Sunday. Games that we think our viewers need to look out for. Green Bay Packers versus Indianapolis Colts. That's going to be a matchup between Aaron Rodgers and Philip Rivers, who used to be formerly of San Diego, playing now for the Colts.
Yes. No. Put it this way. You got the number 1 defense in the Colts. They are the number 1 ranked defense right now. And, last week, man, the Colts put on an unbelievable showing. Unbelievable. Made Tennessee look like they don't belong in the league. And I feel sorry for Rodgers because if this defense is playing like this, Rodgers might have one of those days that he look, that Tampa Bay put on him. Remember that? When we hyped him and Brady, and then where was he? Was he there? Did he show up?
Hey, yeah. Look, what Tampa did was, man.
So this defense is better. This defense is better.
Tampa did Rodgers wrong. Okay, they shut him. You would have known that Aaron Rodgers was a former MVP, former Super Bowl winner. No. So you're saying the Colts
defense is better. I don't know how he does it. I don't know how he does it, Doc. You know, I you know, I feel like one of those situations of where you know you can see the accident coming, but you can't look away.
No. And what's our second game? Are we looking at the Raiders Chiefs or
You remember the Raiders have this guy. I call him Chucky Gruden. He's Chucky. Do you remember when Tampa Bay won the Super Bowl?
I do?
So just kind of give people the history. John Gruden was the offensive coordinator under Andy Reid. First, he was a quarterbacks coach. Then he was offensive coordinator. He was in Philadelphia with Andy Reid and Donovan McNabb. He goes to Tampa. First, he goes to the Raiders. Then he leaves the Raiders and goes and takes over Tony Dungy's job. And I'll never forget that press conference. I said it a couple of weeks back. It's Philadelphia. It's just Philadelphia. And he came and beat us NFC Championship game.
He
And they
ruined
went and won the Super Bowl.
he ruined he ruined the lives of Eagle fans.
Yeah.
I remember even us calling Tampa Bay Succaneers.
Yes.
Tampa Bay Buccaneers. People in Philly were calling the Tampa Bay Succaneers. Came in here and took our lunch.
Took our lunch, man. So the same guy, remember, the Chiefs have one loss. It's to the Raiders. This season, the Chiefs have one loss to the Raiders. And what people don't know is that after that loss in Vegas, the Vegas players, along with fans, were throwing things at the Chiefs bus as it was leaving the parking lots. Andy Reid is not happy. The Chiefs, they're not happy. Andy Reid looks at Gruden as the problem child.
So the two games we're looking out for are the Chiefs and Raiders and Green Bay Packers and Indianapolis Colts.
Yep.
Fantastic. Let's keep it locked. Let's see what goes on. And, we're looking forward to actually be doing these recordings earlier so that we can share with you, our listeners and our viewers in advance so that you can have at least good material before Sunday. Because by the time
Absolutely.
we have this up there, it's Sunday morning, and I feel like we can do better with that, Dave, right?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. And especially now, with Thanksgiving coming up this week, right? So we got not one game on Thursday, but we got two. So we need to be ready, right? We need to be ready. Get everybody ready. As you know, always the Cowboys and Detroit Lions always play on Thanksgiving, right? They're always hosting one team or another. So we need to be ready for it. That's all. This year there's no NBA games because of COVID. So Thanksgiving is going to be a little different. But everybody just stay safe. That's all I've got to say, man. Practice your social distancing. Keep your bubbles together. Be consistent. That's all.
Sounds good, Dave. We'll leave it here. We'll catch up with everyone else on week 12.
All right, man. Again, Doc, just you and me, two African brothers doing what? Talking about football.
Two black men doing what? Talking about football.
About football.
Yes, Dave. Take it easy.
All right. Peace.